Hey everyone, thank you for tuning into another segment of We Nerd. My name is Cassie. Thank you guys so much for logging onto my channel and clicking on my first video. I completely was blessed, was humbled. I was thrilled at the feedback that I got from my first video. I had so many comments, shares, likes, DMs. I have people messaging me just really encouraging and supporting my content, as well as messaging me about videos that they want to see. So one of the videos is this, as to why and how I got into international relations. So without further ado, let's begin. I did not grow up in a traditional politically fired and politically fueled family. The most politics that happened was that my father would go grocery shopping and he would pick up a copy of the Guyanese newspapers, and that's how I would know a little bit about Guyanese politics, as far as American politics, the State of the Union, and when there was a presidential election. That was as politically fueled as my family got. When I was little, I thoroughly believed that I wanted to be an actress slash marine biologist. I was going to be both, like, without a doubt. And there was no way that you were going to tell me that I wasn't going to be in Bollywood and Hollywood. I was going to do both while studying about the ocean, because that made complete sense. But I was going to do it. Obviously, that was not realistic, and that was not what I went into. And by the time I got into high school, I wanted to go into business. I wanted to work on Wall Street. I wanted to be a hotshot accountant or investor with a corner office overlooking the Hudson River and had a great view of downtown. Like, I was going to do all of this because I had grown up predominantly seeing my parents work in Manhattan. And that's where I thought all mommies and daddies worked. So when my other friends were like, no, their families worked in Queens, they worked in Brooklyn, I'm like, oh, my parents worked in Manhattan. I didn't realize. I thought all the mommies and daddies went to work in the city. My dad had worked for a testing company that was blocks away from Columbia University. And my mom had worked in Midtown as well as downtown. And then when they weren't working, my parents always took us into the city. And if I wasn't with my parents, I was with my cousins. So I was always hanging out in the city. It was a great time for me. And so I wanted to do that. I wanted to do just that. And when I was going into high school, I also thought that I was going to focus on business, go to the City University of New York, Queens College, which is a wonderful school, is where all my cousins went. But that's what I thought I was going to do. At the end of your freshman year in John Adams High School, Spartans, let's go, you got to choose your track. I chose the business track, of course, and so I was taking a whole bunch of business courses. But within my courses, I also started getting more involved in my high school as well. I joined student government, and being a part of student government, we had access to try out and basically be the guinea pigs for these new programs that are trying to enter into our school. Now, keep in mind, our school is a Title I school, so we had a plethora of organizations trying to get in, because obviously working at a Title I school, serving underprivileged students socioeconomically, always looked great, and it was going to be very lucrative for them. One of the organizations that actually made a major impact on my life with Global Kids. Also, please note, I would put all the links to the organizations that I'm mentioning in this video in the link in my description, because they're phenomenal. And whether you're an adult or a youth that wants to get involved in this, do it, because they made a tremendous impact on my life, and I would recommend them 10 times over to anyone. So I got involved in Global Kids, and at Global Kids, they came into my school, but I wanted to get even more involved. And so I started going to their Friday after school program, which was open to all New York City students, and started learning about international affairs. One of the programs that they offered was a internship at the Council on Foreign Relations, where I got to learn from people like George Stephanopoulos, members of the Kennedy administration, members from the State Department, about the work that they have done. And that was, in and of itself, an amazing experience. When I was in 10th grade, well, it was the summer of 10th grade, entering into my junior year, I didn't understand the breadth of what I was doing, but it was, looking back, it was phenomenal, and it was one of the best summers of my life. Like, it was incredible to learn from these people who were there firsthand, and they do this every day, and they were willing to talk to us, like a whole bunch of inner city youth children, and it was incredible. It was a great time at the Council on Foreign Relations. And then my next summer, I continued my Global Kids program, I got the opportunity to go to a study abroad through the Experiment in International Living program. Now, that program takes American students from all over the country and send them to different parts of the world. Depending on your program, you would get to have the opportunity where you have a stay-at-home family. So I got to live with a local family, and then I also did a community service component because the program I went to was in Poland. That was completely phenomenal. So I didn't even choose Poland. That wasn't my top choice. My top choice was Germany because I had never gone to Germany. I am and still is a huge World War II history freak. And I wanted to learn more about it, and I wanted to go to Germany. So the program coordinators called me up and was like, hey, the German program's filled, but would you like to be nominated for the Polish program? I was like, yeah, why not? Because at that point in my life, I had gone to Guyana several times. I had gone to the Dominican Republic, and I had gone to London and France. That was it. I didn't really go, and at that time, I didn't even see myself if going to Poland, just choosing to go to Poland. But I was like, sure, I'm going to go. And I loved it. I got to live with the family, the Nalazeks, who were great people, and they worked to make sure that I felt so comfortable living with them. I then did community service aspects. I visited all parts of the country, including Auschwitz, where, corny as it may sound, it was very moving. And that's where I developed my thirst for international relations, because you go to Auschwitz and there's many different exhibits, of course. And I don't know if it was because I had just had my nephews were born a few years ago, and one of my other cousins was pregnant. But the one exhibit that really just touched me the most was they had an exhibit where they had these baby shoes, all children's shoes, and it was just there, and it represented obviously the children that were brought to Auschwitz. And it was, I don't know, I just stood there for a minute, I cried a little bit. It was very heavy. Also, mind you, I'm a 16-year-old girl, and I'm here in Auschwitz. It was a big deal. And so that's when I vowed that I wanted to learn about genocide. I wanted to learn about how I can stop this from ever happening again. And I learned at that point so much about the UN, and I learned that it was created to stop this. It was created to stop genocide. And yet genocide was occurring throughout the world. And at some point it still is. And like I mentioned in my first video, just like war has progressed, so has genocide. And then just studying how the international world and international community can really affect change and make substantive change to genocide, that was what I wanted to study, and that's why I studied it. And that's how I got into international affairs. The thing that really also solidified it was my involvement in Mali UN, Mali United Nations, but that is a whole other video-worthy story. But for right now, yeah, that's how I got into international relations. It was a culmination of so many things, but I can honestly say it was because of the experiences I gathered. I did not wake up naturally one day and was like, this is what I'm going to do. It happened because of a series of events that happened in my life. And I was lucky and blessed to have people who supported me on every level, not just my parents, but I also had teachers. I had my Global Kids program coordinators who all supported me in whatever I wanted to do. They just was like, hey, reach out to us. If you want to talk to us, just let us know. And I was extremely blessed in that sense, and that's how I ended up in the field of international relations. Thank you guys once again for joining me on We Nerd. Please like, share, and subscribe as much as possible to my channel. Share it on your Instagram, share it on your Facebook. Just let everybody know, and thank you guys so much for all the love and support I have already garnered, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Please leave a comment, please DM me. Please let me know what you guys think. All right? See you guys soon. Bye!